So, welcome, you guys. I'm so excited to offer this challenge and in this group. Some of you know me, some of you are new to me. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. You may already know I'm a psychic medium, I'm a spiritual teacher and a healer. Some of the work that I do is I offer readings, healings, past life regression, and I lead development circles, ceremonies, retreats, and programs. I will share with you at the end of this, like day 5, ways that you can work with me. And you can find me on my website, thejessicatanzel.com, and all of my handles, TikTok if you want amusement, and Instagram, and of course Facebook are at the Jessica Tanzel. So that's how you can find me. But let me tell you a little bit about how I got started and how magic is so real and why I teach. So I'll tell you the brief story, and you can read more about it on my website. I have a blog, like how I became a medium, and our all of our tools, all of our intuition, our tools are very unique. So my first message came in 2009 while I was taking a shower, and I just had a random thought come in that said, "Jessica, tell your mom I love her, and I'm sorry I wasn't there for her." And I was like, wow, that's a weird way to think to yourself. And then I just knew who it was and what had happened. So I had that clairaudient, and then I had that claircognizance, that hearing, and then that knowing. And this was a very healing message for my mother. I didn't know what was happening, and I was in touch with psychics, but I still didn't have someone to teach me. I didn't have clarity on my gifts, and they were really scaring me at that moment, because I was also in a very toxic, abusive relationship. So there was a lot of different energy moving, and my guides were trying to help me. I learned years later from Lynn Kittrell in a reading, which I was grateful for. So, so that brought me, after both of my parents passed, I ended up in front of a friend of mine that was a medium, and we grew up together, but I had no idea that she was a medium, which just is spirit putting you in the right place at the right time when you need it. And I started developing my gifts, understanding how the information is coming through, working with many different tutors and teachers. And I still work with a mentor because it's important for us to continue our development, whether we're using it in our personal life or as work. So I am, in the work that I do here, I'm sharing the knowledge that I've been given, and that's why I do this. That's why I have programs that you can do with me, and also free challenges, is because this community, whether it's real quiet and you're just keeping an eye out, or whether you're in the group all the time, it is a community for all of us to be witches together in a positive way. Okay, so that's a little bit about me, and that's just a brief history on why I teach. So let's talk about what this challenge is going to be like, and then get started today. I'm going to start us with a meditation each day. Okay, today we're going through the intro. We're going to go into the story of tarot, and we're going to go into the major arcana. Okay, for tomorrow we're going to do a meditation. We'll learn the meanings of the wand suit and the cup suit. And on day 3, we're going to have a meditation. We're going to learn the meanings of the swords and the pentacles. Okay, Thursday, day 4, we're going to learn how to do a 3-card spread. We're going to learn how to do the Celtic cross spread, which is really going to be helpful in doing a longer reading. And I'm going to give you a couple of tricks, because Spirit was like, give them the numerology tricks. So I'm making a note on here so I do not forget the numerology trick. And I've got a couple of other tricks with tarot that we will be learning. And then day 5, meditation again. Every day you're going to get kind of in a schedule with a meditation, and they'll be short and sweet and guided. And then we're going to talk about how to incorporate the card meanings into reading intuitively. And we're going to do a final Q&A, and I'm going to discuss how you can work with me. So let's start with talking about what is tarot. You know, you see tarot cards, you see oracle cards, and tarot is typically always the same. So tarot cards are basically a tool to help guide your intuition. And it helps use the energy in the universe that guide our life to get that information. It originates back from like 14th century Europe, from what I have seen. And it's not what I would call fortune telling, although you will find in the public's eye as a psychic, what we do, they see as fortune telling. This really is tapping into energy. Everything is energy. Energy magic. Basically, we're tapping into hidden thoughts, feelings, truths, and bringing them to the surface so that that information can be utilized in our decisions about our love life, our regular life, our emotions, health, career, all of those things. We can use these cards. You can utilize them for yourself each day. You can utilize them to help guide other people if that's what you're looking to do. But most importantly, it's helping you tap into your intuition and all of the energy potential around you. And even in a psychic reading, I will tell you, this is what's coming up. This is likely what's going to happen. However, your willpower, knowing that, like, oh, I don't like seeing this thing coming, you have the willpower to shift that into where you want it to go, which is really useful, and why psychic readings and psychic work is so useful, because this is what I'm seeing and you're like, nope. In fact, that happened to me recently. Spirit was like, this is what we see, and I was like, I don't think so. Let me sit with this for a minute. So willpower, that's a whole nother workshop, right? We'll be talking about that another day. But just so you know, the guidance is very helpful. So tarot decks, I talked about tarot decks and oracle card decks. You've got the downloaded PDF for how to read oracle cards, and I touch base on tarot. And I did a free tarot challenge because tarot is very specific. And I'm going to teach you how to read it intuitively, because your intuition is very important in every reading, even though the cards have specific meanings, and we're going to work on that today. So tarot cards have 78 cards. They have 22 major arcana cards, which is what we're going to learn today. And then they have 56 minor arcana cards. It's kind of like a deck of cards, right, with the jokers being used. So the major arcana is typically going to deal with major life events, and the minor arcana are going to deal with like your day-to-day life, okay? And they all get blended together, but we're going to go through each suit and talk about what each card means, and then getting to the last day of this, we'll talk about how to read it intuitively. So one easy way, this is like the beginning tricks of how to read tarot, are learning the story of tarot. And before I go on, practicing. Okay, I love that. Feel free to drop questions in. I was just kind of checking in. You see me going back and forth on my screens here. Checking if you have questions. If I'm not clear on something, please ask, because sometimes I have this constant conversation going on in my head with Spirit, and I might forget something. So please ask questions. I love them. So trick to tarot number one, there is a story to the major arcana. And knowing the story helps you to kind of think of what the cards actually mean. So I'm actually going to start with the story of tarot. So each of the major arcana cards stand alone with a deep meaning and influences, but they all tell a story. And the first card is the Fool. And the Fool is the main character of the story. And we're going to talk about the Fool, because the word fool has its own connotation, but the Fool is the character, and it's not about him being foolish, although we'll get into that deeper because it could, okay? Okay, so, and then the 21 the cards that follow are the story of the Fool, okay? These are going to talk about the accomplishments, the setbacks, the lessons that we learn as we're going through our lives, those trials and tribulations of our lifetime, growing into a whole, complete being. I actually, when I wrote that down, didn't like that being like we're, into a complete being, but we could look at that as several different ways. Like we complete cycles, but also like we're trying to, when I think of complete being, ascend to our complete spiritual being. So I'm going to just throw that in there. So I'm going to go through the full story, which does go through each major arcana card, but then I'm going to go back through the cards and talk about what each specific meaning is. So this is the story in card 0. And the numbers are helpful. We're going to touch base on the numerology aspect Thursday, but just write down the number 0, the Fool. The Fool is excited to go on their journey, unaware, and underline that word, of the risks and downfalls coming to them. Card 1, the Magician. The Magician is one of the Fool's first teachers and sparks their inquisitive nature. And you all will be able to go through and replay this. I feel you writing like so quickly. And I want you to know you're going to be able to go back and replay this and pause this. So even if you're writing the numbers and the name of the card, you'll be able to get that information. And then when you've listened to it again, it'll help you, get used to it. So take some notes, but just kind of relax in and listen if you want. Okay. Number 2, the High Priestess. The High Priestess is also one of the Fool's first teachers. This is an intuitive card, so it teaches the Fool to use their intuition before jumping into situations. And welcome to the club, to the tribe, all you High Priestesses out there. Okay. Number 3, the Empress. The Empress is the Fool's mother figure and creator, representing nurturing and power, kind of like a Mother Nature also type figure, mothering. The Emperor is just what you would think. Is going with the Empress being the mother. The Emperor is going to be the father figure, showing up as the authority and the discipline. And then I'm going to spell this, but the Hierophant, it's Hieropphant. He demonstrates the importance of tradition, and we'll talk more about him later. But he is showing the Fool the tradition of life. Number 6, Lovers. Yes, it can represent love, absolutely, but this actually represents a crossroads in the Fool's encounters between their current path and a new path, or their current love and a new love, current path and a new love. That was a lot. Sorry, Spirit gave me all those. But let's think about, yes, the card is the Lovers and also the Fool's at a crossroads. So you're going to keep that in mind, and that's kind of, we'll start talking about intuition now, is do you get the feel that this has to do about lovers when you pull this card, or do you get the feel that this has to do with a crossroads? So your intuition is going to guide you, because these cards have many meanings, and you're going to do an amazing job. Moving forward, we have several cards to go through, so I'm going to pop through these. Here we go. Okay, number 7, the Chariot. The Chariot is teaching the Fool about making up their mind and keeping the course. Okay. Number 8, the Strength card. This card has that lion on there, and the Strength is a strong figure who demonstrates to the Fool the power of confidence. So think about the strength and confidence. 9 is the Hermit. I pulled the Hermit the other night when I was doing a live collective reading. It was hilarious. Maybe it's not funny yet. Maybe it's too soon. The Hermit encourages the Fool to seclude himself and think introspectively of all these lessons. So he's doing his inner work. And then 10, the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is teaching us that life has many cycles. We were just discussing that. There are many cycles in life, and there's never really an end, but there's an end to a cycle. 11 is teaching the Fool to be rational and fair. And 12, the Hangman. The Hangman is actually asking the Fool to look at things from a different perspective in life. And this is something that he is really being changed by. You're going to run into some cards that some of these bigger cards people might panic about, like Death, the Death card, which actually is not talking about a physical death. It's actually talking about clearing out the old and bringing in the new, or, the end of a cycle kind of deal, okay? But it's letting go of the old, bringing in the new. Temperance is actually temperance. Temperance, I think of temper every time I see that word. And it actually shows the Fool how to put opposites together and to create a third, more powerful, balanced force. So we're finding that balance, which would have to do with the temperance, and realizing that it's not just black or white, that there is another option we can create. They're giving me extra here. I love when they give me extra information. Number 15, the devil. This has to do with kind of a dark figure in our life or showing us our shadow side. So it's bringing those things up, but it's really bringing light to our own shadow side, our own addictions, that kind of thing. And number 16, the tower. So I've given you a few pretty deep cards here. The death, the devil, the tower. These are ones that people, when they see it, they're like, oh crap, okay? But there's also, there's power in these. These aren't always a negative thing, although they're deep cards, okay? Okay, moving on to the tower. The tower is the collapse of everything, and it's starting new, okay? And then the star represents a quiet healing period of the Fool. And if you think he's just gone through this big collapse of everything and I need a minute to sit in quiet. And then the Moon shows the Fool that most of their troubles are illusions that they've made up in their mind. So he's starting to realize that he's creating his reality. And I do a lot of moon work, so it just reminds me, like, when I work with the moon, I'm working on creating my reality. Everything is an illusion. 19, the sun. The sun brings in bright, new. And then 20, the judgment card. Judgment is when the Fool is learning self-forgiveness and how to move on. And then 21 is the world, which is a final cycle. The Fool has completed that cycle and ready for the next challenge. So let's go into deeper. You've got the story of tarot. You can come back and watch that. And then here, let's talk about the each meaning and exactly what they mean. And let me start by saying, in tarot, and when you're doing a reading, the cards upright have one meaning, and reversed would be upside down. They have a different meaning, okay? I'm giving you word for word what each card means. And remember that I'm going to teach you how to read it intuitively. Can you memorize these? Yes, you can memorize these, but I'm going to tell you don't have to memorize them. Get to know them, get familiar, but what you need will come out in your intuition, okay? So I'm going to give you what the card means, and then I'm going to give you the upright meaning and the reversed meaning. Okay, so then you may want to come back and take notes because we're going to pop through these. So card 0, the Fool, is the most vulnerable card in the tarot's archetype. He is not yet experienced life, and it's leaving him unaware of what life has to hold and has no idea, right? Real unaware. So the upright meaning is innocence, new beginnings, and free spirit. The reverse, the upside down, is reckless, taken advantage of, and inconsiderate. You can choose your own words on what this means to you, because what this card means to you is going to be similar. Pick words that work for you. That's completely fine. I give you a little free spirit in there, and also they have that specific meaning, but other words might feel good to you. Spirit told me that. Okay, number 1, the Magician card is a reminder that the Fool is a unique being and he has many gifts that others don't hold. And we're all unique in our own way. So upright, willpower, desire, creation, manifestation. Reversed, trickery, illusions, out of touch. The High Priestess is a card of awareness and subconsciousness. She is the most intuitive card in the deck, and she's one of the first teachers. We talked about that, representing inner life and how to contact it. So upright, she's going to be intuitive, unconscious, inner voice. And then reversed is going to be lack of center, loss of inner voice, and repressed feelings. The Empress is the most feminine card in tarot. And it actually encourages compassion, beauty, and love. And you can think of her too as Mother Nature, and how Mother Nature's powerful, how powerful her influence is. So upright, motherhood, fertility, nature. And then reversed, dependence, smothering, emptiness, noisiness. Oh, actually, I had not tapped into how, like, you can think of this card as the Empress, of course, is the mother, but like how nurturing motherhood could be, or how like smothering it could be. So there's your like upright and reversed. Give yourself those little tricks as they come to you. Make notes on what you're getting about that. That one just popped through. So we know the Emperor is the father, card 4, and he is going to bring in, the authority, but also the leadership and the power. Okay, and he represents structure, solidity, and reminds you the amounts of power that you have in your life and how you create it. So upright are authority, structure, control, and fatherhood. And reversed are tyranny, rigidity, I said that word weird, coldness. And again, you can think of that like a father's going to be very authoritative but caring and loving, or he can be really cold and just not there. Okay, so just different ways to look at that. So we talked about the Hierophant being bringing in tradition, but he really is a messenger from the heavens. So he is an experienced spiritual guide, and he's bringing lessons down to this world. So upright is going to be tradition, conformity, morality, and ethics. And reverse is going to be rebellion and new approaches. Okay. Subversiveness is the other one. How's everybody doing? Checking in. Hello, Cindy. Okay, I love seeing you all on here. Cool. Okay, just checking in. Okay, let's move on to the Lovers. Number 6. The Lovers is definitely representative of close relationships in life, but it can also talk about like areas of life that need extra focus and attention, and how it comes in with your values and decisions. So upright does have to do with partnership, duality, and union. Okay. Just remember, it's the Lovers, but partnerships, duality, and union can relate to other aspects of life. Just keep that in mind. And then reversed is loss of balance, one-sidedness, disharmony. And we say close relationships, and just keep in mind that relationships aren't always the intimate relationships, but the friendship or the family or the work relationships. Your intuition will guide you. Don't panic. Somebody panicked. I felt it. Okay, number 7, the Chariot. The Chariot card is connected to the natural drive and determination, and it can indicate an upcoming victory. So upright is direction, control, willpower. Reversed is lack of control, lack of direction, and aggression. I always look at this card too. Every time I see this card and I'm being told to share this with you, it may resonate, it may not, but every time I look at it, I always get that it's not always black and white. 8, strength. Strength is definitely about, not about physical strength, but about that mental strength, about that courage. So your level of courage, the fortitude of your heart, and your ability to withstand anything that comes in your path. Okay. Upright, it's going to mean inner strength, bravery, compassion, focus. And you can think of that too, like the lion is on there. So you can think about the courage of a lion. And then reversed, self-doubt, weakness, insecurity. 9, the Hermit. How many of you all have felt like hermits during this pandemic? Okay, the Hermit wants to be alone, but this is actually not necessarily a negative thing. It's actually a time for him to turn inward and really see what's going on there to get answers. So this upright is going to mean contemplation, searching for truth and inner guidance. And reversed, it's going to mean loneliness, isolation, lost your way. So now you can see, like, to turn inward is a great thing, but to really isolate is going to be that negative or that reverse side of that card. Let's say reverse, not negative. Wheel of Fortune, we've talked about that being a constantly revolving circle, and sometimes you're at the top, sometimes you're at the top, sometimes you're at the bottom, but this is an ongoing cycle. Okay. Upright, it's going to be change, cycles, inevitable fate, and reversed is no control, clinging to control, and bad luck. I don't want to pull that at all. I don't want to pull that at all. Ah, okay. I'm just kidding. 11, justice. Justice is a reminder that karma is real and that every action has a consequence. That it doesn't say bad karma, just like, there's that energy exchange. What we're putting out there is what we're getting back. Okay. So it's just saying that. And upright is cause and effect, clarity and truth. And then reversed is dishonesty, unaccountability, and unfairness. 12, the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is a card that kind of tells you you're in limbo and is telling you to look at the bigger picture. So upright, it's going to mean sacrifice, release, and martyrdom. Reversed, stalling, needless sacrifice, fear of sacrifice. Okay, 13, death. This, like we talked about, this is a really misunderstood card in the tarot deck, and it actually has to do with endings and beginnings. So upright, the end of a cycle, beginning of a cycle, change, metamorphosis. Reversed is going to be fear of change, holding on, stagnation, decay. Decay is a weird word, but all right. Okay. 14, temperance. This is what was called a master of moderation. So it's encouraging peace and patience and balance and reminding you to let things flow and let go of control. So upright, middle path, patience, finding meaning. So it's just kind of a balance and feeling like a very even keel. And reversed, extremes, excess, lack of balance. 15, the devil. So this card actually carries a lot of feelings of restraint and powerlessness. Okay. So it kind of comes up when you're feeling stuck or like you have lost control in some way. Upright, it's going to mean addiction, materialism, playfulness. And reversed, it's going to mean freedom, release, restoring control. Okay. 16, the Tower is, we talked about it being a dreaded card because it represents destruction, about things falling apart. I pulled this in a collective reading too, where the Tower came up, and I was like, you're right. We do have a shit show going on, and we have to look at it from the bigger picture as well. So the Tower card comes up, it's like, oh crap, right? It makes you feel like everything's crumbling and there's no way to stop it. But upright, it's talking about, the disaster, the broken pride, the sudden upheaval. So a lot of change. Reversed is going to be, disaster avoided, delayed disaster, and fear of suffering. So the Tower card's pretty fierce, but reversed is very like, oh, look, you escaped this disaster. 17, the Star, is about hope and healing. It's about calming influence, and it's bringing in renewal, optimism, inspiration, hope, faith, rejuvenation. And then reverse is where it's faithlessness, discouragement, and insecurity. Think about the Star being on stage. Like, I feel confident and hopeful and faithful, and then like feeling insecure about going on stage, if on the other side of it. 18, the Moon. The Moon is connected to our subconscious, so it's representing the thoughts, feelings, doubts, fears, and everything that we've got going on inside. So upright, it's going to mean unconscious, illusions, intuition, and reversed, it's confusion, fear, misinterpretation. So the Moon is almost like feeling upright and aligned in what we've got going in our life, aligned with our intuition, aligned with what's happening, and reversed is like not feeling a little out of sorts and off, not aligned. The Sun is going to be a really uplifting card. It's going to bring in happiness, joy, vitality, optimism, success, celebration, positivity. Reversed, negativity, depression, sadness. Couple more cards. Judgment. Judgment is it's about looking at everything, like your past, your present, your future, and kind of looking at the decisions you've made and making sure that you're in line with where you want to be. Upright is reflection, reckoning, and awakening. Reversed is lack of self awareness, doubt, self loathing. And 21, the World. This is the last card in the Major Arcana, and it represents completion, success, fulfillment, harmony. And reversed, incompletion or no closure. Okay. So we've gone through all of the Major Arcana today. Don't stress about the reading yet. I'm telling you the meaning of every card, and it is a lot of information. But on the 5th day, we're going to talk about how to read intuitively and not worry about what all these card meanings mean. Because intuitively, you're going to know, and we'll talk about how that information will come. Don't even worry yet. Just allow yourself to kind of soak it in. You can come back and write down later. Do you know your study method? I do well writing and listening, but I also can get lost in thought if I'm not writing. So find what helps you, but don't panic yet. This is a lot, and just allow yourself to play with the story of tarot, and that will help guide you in what your cards mean when you're pulling them. And just start with one card. Maybe you all start pulling one card a day. Let's do that meditation I promised you. I would love to do that. So go ahead and sit back. Let's do a meditation. And then after the meditation, you can just turn this off and stay in meditation, or you can carry on with your day. But go ahead and get comfortable. Sit in a nice position or lie down, whatever makes you feel good. And allow yourself to close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And let that breath out. And on each breath in, allow yourself to pull in healing energy. And on each breath out, releasing anything no longer serving you. And just slow your breath down. And imagine yourself in a little bubble. It's surrounding your entire being. Almost like Glinda the Good Witch. And you can reach your arms out wide and far. And you're able to stretch your entire being out in this bubble. And it's full of your energy and only your energy. And it feels so light, so beautiful, so fulfilled. Just allow yourself to be in that bubble, enjoying your own energy. And ask your guides, your spirit team, call to the ones you call to, and ask them to surround your bubble. You might feel them, you might see them, you might hear or feel their energy. They're there. They're always there. lifting you up, helping you cast your circle of energy, keeping you healthy, guiding you towards happiness. And encouraging you every step of the way. Just take a moment to focus on your breath, entering your body, and your breath exiting your body. Allow yourself to imagine standing on the earth, the Empress, Gaia, breathing in that fresh air and calling in that energy from the earth. Allowing yourself to grow roots from the bottom of your feet, connecting into the earth. And allowing the earth to give you energy through those roots, grounding you in, and allowing that powerful energy to flow up through your feet, up through your ankles, up through your calves and your shins, through your knees, your thighs, your hamstrings and your hips. And become aware of your root chakra there at the base of your spine. Feeling supported, feeling grounded, and on your breath out, releasing anything from your root chakra that feels stagnant or is ready to be released. You may even move your hips a little to help move that energy out. And allow that energy from Mother Earth to flow up through your root chakra, filling in any void, moving up to your sacral chakra. Allowing you to feel your creativity and your sexuality fully and confidently. Breathe in and release on your breath out anything ready to go. And then allow that energy from Mother Earth to move through your sacral chakra up to your solar plexus, where you'll find your willpower and your clairsentience, your clear feeling, your gut instinct. It will never steer you wrong. Take a deep breath in and release on your breath out. And allow that energy from Mother Earth to flow up through your solar plexus to your heart chakra. And there at your heart chakra, take a deep healing breath in, allowing that heart chakra to open and connect you to your higher self. Take a deep healing breath in and release anything holding you back on your breath out. Allow that energy from Mother Earth to help fill in any voids of what you've released, and also feel that energy coming in from above. Feeling that divine light also pouring in. Allow that energy to move up through your heart chakra to your throat chakra. Taking a deep healing breath in, becoming aware of your inner voice, your actual voice, and your self-expression. And release anything that's ready to be released on your breath out, and let it flow out as you need to express yourself. You might even let out an audible sigh. We're going through self-expression in our personal and in our universe. You're doing a great job. Clear it out and allow Mother Earth's energy and that energy from above to fill any voids of anything that has been released. And allowing that energy to also flow down your arms, your shoulders, your arms, your elbows, your forearms, and through your hands and your fingers. Feel it vibrate through your being. And then allow that energy to move up from your throat chakra to your third eye, your pineal gland, your intuition, your imagination, your vision. Yes, your actual vision and your intuitive vision. A piece of your magic. Take a deep healing breath in. Release any fears, any doubts, any skepticism, and any expectation for yourself or others. Let it flow out. You may feel it in other parts of your body. You can breathe in to that area. Allow the breath to travel there. And then release it on your breath out. There you go. You can move your body if you need to. Keep your eyes closed though. Just let that energy flow as we pull that energy from Gaia and from that divine up through that third eye, allowing us to then bring it up to the crown chakra, connecting us to the divine, lifting us higher and allowing us to feel connected to our guides, to our higher self, to our deities, to our goddesses, to all the higher dimensional beings that you want to call in and connect with. We call in beings of light and positivity and love and intuition. to surround us in our protection and to help us understand our intuition throughout this week and throughout our spiritual journey. Asking that we be patient with ourselves, asking that we be patient with each other, and that we support and uplift our tribe. Take a few breaths in and allow your breath to guide you, or allow your breath to be your focus and your attention for just a minute. Today you have aligned your chakras, cleared out the old to make room for the new. Allow yourself some movement today. Allow yourself lots of water today. And allow yourself to just be. Allow yourself gratitude for yourself and gratitude for your intuition and gratitude for doing something for you today. I'm sending out love and healing and gratitude to each of you. Take a deep breath in. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Become aware of your body and the seat underneath you. And open your eyes when you're ready. Thank you.